This is Gundam Sculptor, the Master Engineer, the Pioneer. Piloted by Sculptor, he is the one responsible for the initial creation of the Gundams when the primordial gods ordered for the ritual fights for the Zodiac Courts to be switched from physical fights to mechanical fights. Despite all constellations having some engineering skill, Sculptor is always one step ahead with new technology. Hence the constellations turn to him whenever they need new armament ideas to win the ritual fights. Despite his eyes always shining with glee when someone consults him, he immediately turns ideas that involve nanotech down, as to him, it takes away from the fun of building and creating mechs and armaments. In its basic form, the Gundam Sculptor, that never got a wash from the paint stains left from the docking armors, is armed with the head-mounted beam Vulcans and beam cannon, chest-mounted Unibeam, the Pandora Spray Gun, Dwarf Defenser, and the light elemental beam Sabers. The head-mounted beam Vulcans are standard Vulcan pods that shoot beams instead of physical rounds and are useful for enemy repelling and missile interception among other purposes, while the gem mounted on the forehead is a beam cannon that can either fire in small bursts or one big burst until the energy in the gem is depleted. Both weapons draw energy from the Gundam's elemental cell and requires recharging when their energy clips are depleted. The chest-mounted Unibeam takes the form of a gem in the abdomen area and is twice as powerful as a beam rifle. However, it can only fire one burst shot before a lengthy recharge, hence Sculptor only uses it as a last resort and is usually forgotten about by others due to how seldom it is used. The Pandora Spray Gun is named as such due to the peculiarity of the weapon. For instance, being as powerful as a beam rifle despite it being a pistol, the fact that no other Gundam can use the weapon even if it's stolen from Sculptor, and the ability to change elements and capabilities depending on the extension equipped onto it through the Mendeleev System. Otherwise, it functions like a standard issue light elemental beam rifle. The Dwarf Defenser is the shield used by Sculptor in place of the former Dwarf shield. On top of its larger size, its unorthodox shape allows the Gundam to transform into a flyer mode for faster flight capabilities. Beam Vulcans are also mounted into the body of the shield, and it can be fired in either the flyer mode or when the shield is held like a gun. The light elemental beam sabers function like the standard issue beam sabers that machines with a light elemental cell use. They are especially effective against those using dark elemental energy, and they function as regular beam sabers otherwise. The Gundam Sculptor is equipped with the Mendeleev System, which is a system that allows Sculptor to dock with different armor support units, and is controlled by his personal AI Sophia. Ever since the success of the Hydrogen Gundam, Sculptor could not stop creating armors for his Gundam, and often he built armors to the occasion. However, due to the myriad of armors he created, they will have to be covered another time. The Mendeleev System also allows Sculptor to control each body part of the core Gundam, enabling every body part to act like funnels or even call for individual replacements that can be called from Vera, his storage and fabrication satellite for backup parts for the core Gundam and all of its armors. Sculptor has retreated from the first astral conflict due to his sour feelings towards his creations being used for war, putting his Gundam in a cold sleep mode in his temple and disabling every single one of his combat systems while keeping Sophia around for company. Ever since a signal identical to his own Gundam appeared on Earth, he rebooted all his systems and sortied for the first time in months to investigate, and went back to creating armors tailored to every single possible situation, knowing that he needs to lend a hand to end the pointless conflict between the Zodiacs and the Stellars. Despite losing to the Zodiacs during the fight, he is still a force to be reckoned with, as he can adapt to every situation one can fathom with his armor extensions.